Who's next? Hey, how y'all doing? Back again, another episode of the It Factor podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeremy Robinson. And today we have someone special. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Coach Sydney Carter. Thanks for having me.
Yes, indeed. So with that being said, how are you doing mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Mentally, I'm good. It's the off season, so things have slowed down. Physically, I started working out, so ask me in a couple of weeks how I'm doing. Right now, I'm not doing so good.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, emotionally, I'm intact. I'm good. Everything's great.
that's good. And I would say, it's one of my featured questions. I would say, what is your it factor? Why do you do what you do?
Um, because I do what I do because I'm passionate about young people.
Hmm.
And I think that comes from being a family girl myself. Like I'm from a really big family. And so I've gotten to grow up around like young or strong women
Uh-huh.
that like inspired me to like go out and like be something because my sisters all did, great things. My mom is the goat of all moms, in my opinion. I might be a little biased, but I just have a passion for helping young people. So young people are my it factor.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that. And I would say that we show see that, throughout the season and also throughout, even on the off season, see you everywhere and be like, hey, she doing her thing. So that
Thank you.
being that. So I say what have been some of your or what were some of your favorite moments in college, the WNBA, and also playing overseas?
Well, I think in college, the main thing is that I won a national championship. Like, there's so many people that leave college and don't get to do that. It's something that's really hard and rare to do. So I don't take that for granted. Like, that's just a time in my life where I can't describe in words how it feels. And I'm 12 and the pros. I think just meeting so many people, like getting the chance to play against people that I grew up watching, like
Mm.
Diana, Sue, Tina Thompson was still in the league when I went, and I grew up watching her at the Houston Comets.
Mhm.
So I think, just getting the chance to really live out my dreams with the people that made helped make my dreams happen. With the WNBA coming about when it did and everything like that. And then um, I think overseas, just being able to travel the world, like you don't realize, but like an orange ball
Mhm.
did all of this. And so when you pick it up as a kid, you don't realize like it's going to do all these things.
Right.
But I've learned so many different languages. I've met some of my best friends are foreigners that still live overseas. But just getting to get out there and see different parts of the world, getting to do something that I love, um, and doing it for free. Doing,
Right.
like I didn't have to pay to travel. I didn't have to do any of that. So, yeah, it was just basketball has just done so much for me.
That's amazing. So with basketball doing so much for you and you being at the time you are now, I would say, how was it coaching at your alma mater in Texas A&M? How was that?
A dream come true. Like you go there, you give everything that you have
Mhm.
to a program as a player, and you don't realize before you go like the impact you will have. And so doing all the great things that I was able to do at A&M, to be able to go back and coach there is like a full circle moment. Like, when you're a kid, you don't even know where you're going to go. So to be able to have that a part of my story, um like I said, it was a dream come true. I hope that one day, my path leads me back there, maybe as a head coach. So we'll see.
We're gonna get into that because I got a question, man. That's amazing. I would say, who is Sydney outside of basketball, being a dog mom, and all the things that you're known for? Who are you?
I'm so many things. Like I am normal. I am, like you said, I'm a dog mom. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I love to, obviously, everybody knows I love to shop. So, but I love to, like just do normal things, like, walk my dog and ride the boat with my friends. And, I like to be as normal as possible because I feel normal. I feel like I am you know, just Sydney, if that makes sense. Like I'm not something that's just I try to remain humble at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still go to Target without my hair combed some days, like I like to be me. Doesn't
Indeed.
matter the arena or space.
Got you. And I like that. I like that. I would say, hey, that's how I got in touch with you, through your team. But I would say
Yeah.
that that's why I do podcasting because I find people that at the end of the day, I want y'all stories to be told all around,
Yeah. We
So
appreciate that
indeed.
because it's really hard for people to try to get the real story behind people's lives, people's motivation to do what they do. And so, you'll find people picking and choosing the types of things, but like obviously thus far, like we talked about so many well-rounded things and like who I am as a person. And so I appreciate you
Hey,
and your art of storytelling.
thank you. Thank you. So I would say, how is it now? Being a director and coach of women's basketball for University of Texas. How is that?
It's different, obviously, because I came from A&M and Texas, and they're rivals, and
Hmm.
I'm an Aggie grad, so my friends were not the happiest with me when I took this job. Um, but it's so rewarding because I'm continuing. So about the job, it's not different.
Hmm.
Just the environments are different because there's two different places. But my job still, um, I'm still being able to help young people. I'm still being able to be a big part of young people's lives.
Hmm.
And so not much of a difference there as far as like what I'm doing, because I'm always doing a ton. I'm always looking for new things to do, but I learn and grow in any environment and situation I'm in. So that's the ever evolving door is what am I learning every day?
Got you. Got you. I would say, you coach so well. Like when I first saw you, Texas A&M, I was like, me and my boy watching it. I was like, who is that lady? Like, who is that? Is she the head coach? And I would say, since you coach so well, I would say, do you have any desires to be a head coach?
Absolutely. I want to be one of the greatest head coaches to ever grace the women's college basketball sideline. It has nothing to do with how I dress,
Hmm.
has nothing to do with, my path to it has everything to do with the fact that I want to have that type of impact. I want to be one of the greatest impact people
Hmm.
in college women's basketball. I'm hoping and praying that one day it is as a head coach because I do want to lead a team and be able to say I won a national championship as a player and as a coach. So I want that to be a part of my path, but I want to have an impact on continuing to elevate the women's game
Hmm.
because you see us, we're on the rise now. And so I want to be able to continue to have an impact in elevating women and women in sports in general.
I love that. And with that being said, why is it important? I mean, I feel like I've been doing this since I was a little boy to support women's basketball and to be there, and not even just from a support. Like I went to a HBCU and we say support black colleges now, but at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, I thought it should just be a standard, to watch.
Correct. I mean, I think right now it's popular, so everybody's doing it, but I think you don't want it to get lost in translation that like women are doing this
Hmm.
and they've always been doing it. Our game has always been fun. Our game has always been interesting, entertaining, like all those things that people used to say that it wasn't. It always has been that. Um, but I think the reason that you need to support women's sports is because you're seeing all the stories come out now about the disparities in pay and in viewership, all these different things. And so women are constantly doing more with less.
Hmm.
And so I think, when you support women, you see what you get. Like supporting women has put us on this stage now where people are like, okay, I do enjoy watching women's basketball. Caitlin Clark is exciting.
Hmm.
USC women's basketball is exciting. Tech, all these schools, this is exciting. And so this is what happens when you support women and women in sports. We will get, the coverage that we're supposed to get. We will get like the fan support that we're supposed to get. People will watch our game and realize that what it is now is what it's always been.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So I would say, what inspires your looks on the court? For you being let's before we even dive into that, thank you for being unapologetically you. I want
Thank
to thank
you.
you for that. I don't hear that any interviews, anytime I was doing research. I'm like, thank you for being you. You are normal. I'm like, yeah, you dress nice, but you coach even better. That's what matters to me.
Thank you.
I would say, what inspires that for you, and like, What fashion sense play a role to you even coaching, if any?
Um, what inspires me is that I just want to always put my best foot forward.
Hmm.
This is something that comes natural to me. Like when I think about how I want to present myself, I
Hmm.
present myself with my best foot forward every single chance that I get.
Right.
And so if I'm demanding of the players that I want you to go out there and give me my best, like I'm going to practice what I preach. I
Hmm.
can't ask of you what I'm not giving of you
Right.
or giving to you. And so, that's my inspiration is just I want to look my best because I feel my best and I'm going to do my best. So why not put forth that effort into everything that I do? Um, but there's no like there's never a time where I'm like I'm gonna wear this because I think this is gonna get the people going.
Right.
You know, I could care less. Like you said,
Hmm.
I'm unapologetically myself.
Hmm.
That has nothing to do with wanting people to like or dislike. I'm very grateful and blessed that I have so much support from so many people,
Hmm.
but that's not why it's not a driving factor for me because I have to continue to remain true to myself and not do for others. I have to do for me when it comes to being myself because I have to make myself happy first.
Definitely.
So that's what drives me is I gotta if I'm happy with it, that's all that matters.
Indeed. I love that. I love that. I say, got a few more questions. I would say,
Mhm.
why I would say, just made me think about this, and I ain't even have it wrote down, but I would say at the end of the day, what would you love to be remembered for in not only the game of basketball, but in life in general?
I think for my ability to lead when I did not know that it was my time to do so.
Hmm.
I've always been a leader. Like when I was in college, I was a captain of the team 3 out of my 4 years. I've always been very vocal. I was a point guard, so I had to be. I always led by example. I just worked really hard.
Hmm.
But I think you never know, like when it's your time to be doing something right. You hear all the time. Can you do it when no one's looking? Like, what are you doing when no one's looking? And so I think that that's the main thing is I want people to realize like it is okay to be confident
Indeed.
that you're not going to ever make everyone happy,
Hmm.
but don't let your confidence get dimmed because there are people out there that all of a sudden have an issue with it. And so I want to be remembered for being able to show that I'm doing things the right way.
Hmm.
I'm on the right side of things. And so, like I said, you never know when it's your time to lead. And I'm just happy that I was put in the position to be able to do that in a positive and inspiring way for so many young women to see that you can do this as well.
Indeed. And why is it important when I say inspire? Why is it important to inspire people?
Well, I think people need like representation matters. Like you need to be able to see something in order for you to know
Hmm.
that it can happen. Like you don't know that something can happen until you either see it or you're doing it and you're like, okay, let me sit back and like really be where my feet are.
Definitely.
I'll give you an example. Like Angel Reese
Hmm.
announced her going to the NBA, WNBA in Vogue.
Hmm.
Have we ever seen that? No. But now people know that you can do that.
Right.
People know that you can conduct yourself towards the media in a certain way
Hmm.
without being rude and all these other things, but still remaining yourself.
Right. Definitely.
So I think people need to see things like we all do.
Hmm.
We all need to see things happen to know that one, it's possible, and two, we can take it up three, four, five, however many notches we want to take it up. But it's when it's done, then you know.
I love that. I love that. And I would say, who are some of your favorite players in the WNBA, but also in college first? Like, who are some of your favorite players to watch?
Ooh, so I was a big Elena Beard fan when I was young.
Hmm.
She went to Duke, and so Duke became like my dream school at like a young part in my growing up because I wanted
Hmm.
to be like a defender like Elena Beard. Um, I loved, he's a guy, but JJ Redick was also at Duke because I was a Duke fan. Um, ooh, who else? So there was a girl at Tennessee. She was
Hmm.
tiny, and I've always been short. People don't know I'm short. Everyone thinks I'm tall from my pictures, but I'm only 5'6", 5'6" on a good day. Shannon Bobbitt went
Uh-huh.
to Tennessee. She's probably about 5'3", 5'4", and was just so crafty finishing around the basket. Like she defied gravity to me.
Wow.
So she was one of my best players, one of my favorite players to watch, to play
Mm-hmm.
against. I would say one of the hardest players I ever had to play against was Andrea Riley. She went to Oklahoma State,
Mm-hmm.
Dallas native as well, grew up training with her dad. Um, she was so hard to guard. Um, Loved playing against Brittany Griner. She probably blocked my shot 15 times in my career. As well as Odyssey Sims at Baylor, as a right hander myself. She was a left-hander. Very
Yeah.
hard to guard a left-hander when you are playing and you're predominantly guarding right-hand players. And then the WNBA, I mean, obviously, like I said, having to play against Diana Taurasi in one of my first
Mm.
professional games was like an eye-opening experience. And so I've just been blessed. Like I've been able to watch people
Hmm.
and play against them. I've been able to watch people and thank goodness not play against them, but be able to see where their career has gone. Um, I'm going to give a little shout out to Candace Parker because she just retired, but she did so many things for the women's game, and she's still doing them. Like the only woman on NBA,
Right.
TV on
Mm.
TNT doing what she's doing, and so I wanted to say that because she had a fantastic career for women's basketball.
Indeed, indeed. My boy got to work with her for a while, man. He was always
She's
like,
amazing.
he's like, she ain't gonna never retire. I was like, yeah, she ain't gonna never. So the other day he was like, bruh, dog, the game will never
Yeah.
be the same.
Yeah, but that's hard, like when you have basketball, she had a 16-year career in the
Right.
WNBA by itself.
Hmm.
And so for some people, a 16-year career is like their whole career.
Right.
And so for her to do what she did for so long, like it's hard. It's hard to give it up because you've always known basketball, but it takes like a real mature adult to realize, okay, like I cannot give the game anymore. Like I've given it everything. And so she's one of those people. She gave the game everything she had. And so job well done.
Indeed. And I would say, what are some of your short-term, long-term goals?
Short term has nothing to do with basketball, actually. I want to have my own clothing line. I
So,
want to write a children's book.
hmm.
I want to have my own nail line come out.
Okay.
I want to do a lot of things off the court. I want to participate in Fashion Week.
Hmm.
I don't think any dream is too big for me. I want to be at the Met Gala. I
Yeah.
want to be at the ESPYS. I want to do all those things.
Hmm.
In the short term, and then long term, I already mentioned that I want to be a head coach, but I think my short term goes with my long term. Like I want to be able to have like an illustrious clothing line where it like continues to roll out and it's affordable for all women and it continues to like allow people to feel like I hear all the time, I look to you to see what I want to wear to work. And
Hmm.
so I want to be able to produce a line where the girlies are like, I'm giving Coach Carter today, whether it's at work,
Hmm.
going out with friends, going to the store, whatever it is. I want to produce a line that you can wear something for any occasion. If you want to, there's no such thing as extra to me.
Right.
Okay.
It's not.
So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to have it all because I feel like I can.
Look, I'm a two-time author myself, so if you need some help, I got you,
I
man.
need some help. I need to know just where to start,
It
like,
is very simple. Look, we have our side conversation, but it's very simple.
okay.
Very
Yeah, so I,
simple.
I want to have a children's book and I also want to start like an affirmation card, like not necessarily line, but like a deck
Gotcha.
because I'll show you. I have this in my office and at home, but I have two of
Mhm.
these in my office. And so it basically every day
Yeah, my
it's
wife got those.
something,
We got those.
yeah, it's something that I flip through every day.
Mhm.
Every day that there's a new day and I read them just to like give me my like encouragement of the day. I'm very strong in my faith. So
Right.
just making sure that those types of things stay grounded. So I want to have that one day as well.
Indeed, indeed. So, do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
Mhm.
You asked a lot and
Awesome.
you asked some good ones, so I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Keep being you. Uh, and thank you so much for coming on the show.